Welcome back, everyone. I am reacting to Kabir. Uh, Things he loved about Texas. He was in Texas for a week, or I think he was in there for a week, and he's back home, and he's just recapping his trip. So I thought I'd watch the recap and see what he thought. Just from watching his first videos, it was obviously he had a blast, and I hope he gets to see more of America, not just Texas, because a lot of times if you watch a lot of British vloggers, they always go to Texas. And I can understand why they go to Texas. I mean, it's huge. You can fit like multiple UKs in there, like the entirety of the UK, not just British, or, oh my God, not just England, but the whole UK in Texas. UK is smaller than most of our states. Uh, but yeah, I'm pretty confident he loved it because he put in a title, Things I Loved About Texas. All right, let's find out what he loved about Texas. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get into it. And I can't stop itching. I think I got bit.
So it's been a week since we got back from Texas. Got back Tuesday afternoon of last week. It was such a quick trip, honestly.
This
It
is
went
how.
so fast. Like we were there for just under a week, so 6 nights, I believe it was, and we flew back on the seventh night. And there were certain things about it that I really, really loved. Like, that sort of stand out. I just thought I'd have a little chat with you about.
He looks tired if you look around his eyes. It's probably the jet lag still, hasn't it? I know it said it's been a week, but he still looks tired.
The way, guys, sorry for the shaky cam. I'm at my family's house, so I don't have my tripod or any other like filming equipment. Literally, all I've got is my like backup mic, so that's why the camera's a bit shaky. I'm like holding it with my hand, so sorry about that. So the first thing I really loved about Texas was the weather, and I know some of you are going to be thinking, Kabir, like it was really,
I wonder how tall he is because I was just looking at the door frame and stuff. He's got to be at least 6 foot or more.
you mean. I just love how consistent it was. Like here in the UK, the weather's really up and down. Like it might be warm on the Monday and then the next day it'll be like quite cold. I just love the consistent heat of Texas. Whether it was Houston, Dallas, or Austin, the sun was out, it was warm, you could walk around in a t-shirt and shorts. I really, really loved that because, here in England, you get maybe a month to 5 weeks of summer. You don't really get a lot of summer. And it just feels like you kind of know what you expect being in Texas. You expect it to be warm for a.
Like a month of summer? That would suck. We get June, July, and August at least. But a month? Just 1 month of summer? I don't know if I could. I don't know if I would survive with a month of summer. I'd be so mad.
Lot of the year.
Oh, is that why the British are so depressing sometimes? This is why they always seem like they're depressed because it's always raining and they got zero sunshine. That would bring you down.
The sun's out. You can walk around in your sunglasses, your shorts. I had like a frappuccino and iced coffee in my hand most of the time when I was out there. It was brilliant. I really, really liked that. And I can imagine, when it gets to like real summer, it might get sort of like too hot. And, there were moments where it kind of was getting close to that when it was like 35 degrees Celsius and high humidity. But yeah, I still found it quite nice, to be honest with you. I know there's probably Texans watching this thinking, Kabir, try and deal with that, for 6 months at a time. And maybe because I've not experienced that before, I don't really, maybe that's why I'm speaking so positively about it. But yeah, I enjoyed it. And kind of following on from the heat, like I loved how everywhere had air conditioning in Texas.
That's uh, something else too. Like it's not just the UK. Like other countries that are just as hot or hotter will complain that what do you need AC for? It's like because it's hot. Like I mean, like I'm literally sweating just breathing, or my sweat has sweat. If I don't want to be that hot, so why wouldn't I? If I can afford AC, why wouldn't I get AC? When we looked for our house, one of the things my wife was like, we gotta have central air. It's like she's not putting up with that. She's like, I want central air. We got central air. But yeah, I don't understand these countries or these people in these other countries that think it's a flex that they don't have AC. That's stupid. Get AC.
Let's say you get out of your car, you've parked maybe, 5-minute walk from wherever you're going. Yeah, it's going to be really hot for that walk. You might start sweating a little bit, but as soon as you walk into that restaurant, it's like whoosh, you get hit with that gust of cold, crisp air conditioning, and it's everywhere. Every restaurant that we went
Yep.
to had air conditioning.
Restaurants,
Most of the bars had air conditioning. The hotels, every
stores.
single sort of like, even the university buildings when we went to MSU and Rice, all had air conditioning, and it just makes it so much more bearable, especially when you're living in a place like Texas where the summers get really, really hot. Like here in the UK, air conditioning is only really found in office spaces. Most restaurants don't have AC. 99% of pubs and bars don't have AC. So, it was
Really?
such a nice relief, like being in a place.
Well, why not have? See UK videos. Not even his videos where he talks about how. I'm pretty sure he had a video where they talked about, he knows people who think it's a flex not to have AC, and it's like that's not the flex you think it is.
Where everywhere had AC. And I know there's some people that will be like, it's not very eco-friendly, and I get that, but if you're living somewhere where it's really, really hot, you need AC. The people were also really friendly. Like, I really loved that because I'm somebody who, likes starting, conversations with people that I don't know. Maybe I'm in the queue, at the grocery store, and I notice that the person's wearing like an arse.
I'm beginning to see why he likes America. Because everything I hear about the UK is like, don't try to strike up a conversation. So yeah, he was born in the wrong country.
Top or something, I'll have a chat with you. So I'm the kind of person that likes having, quick random conversations with people. And Texas just had that in a
Stand still. Sorry. Because I watched this other video and he kept spinning and spinning and spinning. It actually was making me dizzy.
abundance. People would just hear my accent. They'd be like, "Are you from England?" And I'd be like, "Yeah." And then we just have this like, nice conversation. It happened everywhere we went, bars, pubs, restaurants. It was really, really consistent throughout the different cities that we went to.
What was that? Because he said bars, pub, and then it said the vineyard. Did I go too far?
It happened everywhere we went, bars, pubs,
I wonder why he put that up. Because depending on where you are, we call them pubs too in the U.S. We'll call them pubs and bars, and because a vineyard is something different than a pub and a bar. Yeah, we have all the above. We'll call them all the above. It's like Americans aren't as hung up on that stuff as people think. It's like if you want to call it a pub, call it a pub. We don't care. Go there to get drunk. So no one's really going to care.
restaurants. It was really, really consistent throughout the different cities that we went to. And I just find that really charming. I think they call it Southern hospitality. I'm not sure if Texas is part of the South technically. Americans let me know that really charming. I think they call it Southern hospitality. I'm not sure if Texas is part of the South technically. Americans let me know if that's the case or not.
Yeah.
But
Yes, it is part of the South.
yeah, I really, really loved how open and chatty and approachable Texans were. Is that consistent throughout the whole country, or is that something unique to Texas?
It's not unique to Texas, and it also depends on where you're at. Because there are places in Texas where they would have bit your head off. And honestly, because of your skin color, you could have disappeared. It all depends. For the most part, most Americans are just minding their own business, being polite, just trying to get through life. And I think for Americans, the problem is the loudest ones are the ones that get heard. And it's usually the loudest and the wrongest. Like they're the loudest and the most wrong all the time. It seems like they think they represent America and they don't. Overall, America is not a bad place to live. Well, we do need to go back in time and change a few things. But yeah, overall, America is not a bad place to live. At least I hope it stays that way.
And the South. Now, this, I suppose, depends on your perspective, but I loved the portion sizes. The portion sizes were generous. Like,
Yeah, he's talked about that before, the portion sizes, because when he eats, he talks about the portion sizes a lot, because he's a big eater apparently. And I think that's interesting. When you have a big eater in the UK, you got to order like 2 or 3 helpings of something in order to get like an American sized portion.
I would say the average portion size was at least 40 to 50% bigger in most of the restaurants than the restaurants that you'd find here in England.
Also, I'll be honest with you. I've said it before, like we're the fattest country and the fittest country because we have a lot of fitness going on. I mean, and the fat part is getting better, like it's going down because there are more and more people realizing, oh, this is not healthy, and they're working out more or trying to eat better. Like me, I'm trying to eat better. And I well, not lately, but I have been working out. I need to get back into it. The past couple of weeks I haven't worked out. It's just so much stuff going on. My daughter graduated high school, so there's that. But yeah, it's just so much stuff going on this past couple of weeks. But overall, I think the whole portion size doesn't so much come out of that we're fat. Just we eat and we're moving a lot. Americans usually aren't as lazy as people think. Most Americans are too busy moving around, so they sit down, grab a meal, and then they're moving. They're gone. They're going to do something. And I don't mean just going out to do like fun stuff. We got work to do. So I think that's where the whole portion size comes into play. It's like we had a moment where we could eat all that and still go out and do 3 days work in 1 hour. But now we eat all that and then we go home and watch 3 hours of TV sitting still. So that's what's changed, and I think we just need to get back to being active again.
You guys know me. I'm a massive foodie. I really, really love my food.
See, that's what I was talking about.
It was just nice being properly full. Like sometimes you go to a restaurant here and I'm just not full, and I don't want to order 2 meals because they'll start looking at me funny.
With my personality, I would order 2 meals. I'm like, this ain't going to fill me up. I would order 2 meals.
Being able to know that, if I order this one dish, I don't need to order like a bunch of extras or a bunch of sides, it's going to fill me up, and, I guess, if you're someone who maybe struggles with your weight, I can see why it might be a negative having big portions as the default, but yeah, I loved it. I loved it. The convenience really blew my mind. We've got Uber Eats over here and, you can get groceries and stuff delivered with Uber Eats now, which is pretty cool, but it is nothing compared to DoorDash and what you guys can get delivered to you. I told the story.
I think it's interesting because Uber, you can get Uber stuff. Uber does more than just Uber Eats. You can get other stuff delivered too through Uber. Didn't they change the name because it wasn't, is it still called Uber Eats or anyway, I know you can get other things delivered through Uber as well, but I just think that interesting that they just now got it to where you can do more with Uber Eats over there.
The vlogs that I made that, I'd ordered a pair of trousers, black pants, and I hadn't tried them on before we left, and they were too small. So, I was panicking, thinking I've only got one pair of trousers to wear for this whole trip. And, I went on Reddit and, I saw people saying, DoorDash, you can get clothing delivered. I was like, no way can you get clothing. So I downloaded DoorDash and the stuff has arrived. Bang on time, 24 minutes later, I have my black trousers. Perfect. And yeah, you can literally buy clothes, furniture, all kinds of stuff and have it delivered to you within 30 minutes. I could not believe it. Obviously, Now,
I will say, I do know that's not everywhere throughout the U.S. And it all depends if it's available. But I said this on the last video, I'm just shocked at UK doesn't have it, and it's not just UK. There's a lot of countries that don't have that feature, have the delivery feature, and I think that's interesting.
You have to pay a delivery fee, sales tax, tip them and all that stuff, which, I suppose if you were to go and pick it up yourself, you wouldn't have to pay as many things. But, I was in a bind. I had to meet my friends
It's what we call the convenience fee.
in like an hour. So I didn't have the time, to go to a Macy's or whatever. So it was just so cool, just having that facility. And yeah, just that sort of convenience, being able to get whatever you want, have it delivered to you. Such a cool feature. Like, I can see them bringing it here probably in the next few years. To be honest, I don't know why we don't have it now, but yeah, it will be very popular when they bring it here. Another thing is, because Texas is so big, the roads are they're just straight, like very few corners, very few like sharp bends. Like when you're driving, you can almost kind of like just coast, really.
We got a couple roads that are straight. That's a lot of roads in the U.S. actually. So it's not just a Texas thing. And like in the last video, I talked about how, you see how they're stuttering. He's driving or I don't think he drove at all. One of his friends is driving, but they rented a Dodge Ram. And if they drove that big truck over in the UK, they'd just be running over cars, and probably people too. Like people could probably just walk under it. But our roads are just bigger and wider because we got the space. And the UK space is at a premium.
The gas, holding steady, your hands are on the wheel, and you can have like nice sort of like kind of in-depth conversations with your friends and stuff. Whereas here, because, the country's a lot smaller, there's a lot of sharp bends. There's not very long straights that go on for like miles and miles and miles, unless you're on like, one of the main motorways, like the M1 or something like that. So, just being able to like drive in a chilled out manner, I thought is really, really cool. Texas is absolutely huge. I couldn't believe how big it is. Like, people had already told me, Kabir, Texas is massive. Texas is massive. I was like, how big can it really, really be? And
it's massive.
My God, like we drove from Dallas to Austin, and that took 3 hours, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to like superimpose a little screen grab of how small that distance is relative to the entirety of Texas. It's mind-blowing. Whereas if you were to drive 3 hours from the bottom of the country, you'd be near the middle. You'd be in Nottingham. Like, someone told me that you can fit you could fit the UK into Texas 3 times, which is crazy because the UK is made up of 4 countries. So you can fit 4 countries into one of the 50 states of America. That's just like mind-blowing. And the final thing I'm going to touch on, but arguably the most important thing that I loved about Texas is...
Also, depending on which direction you're going, from what I understand, if you travel 4 hours, usually in the UK, unless you're going tip to tip, actually, the UK is made up of, what do you say, 4 countries? You'd be driving between countries. So, yeah. You're just still driving in Texas for 4 hours. And it's not just Texas. We have a lot of states like that. You can drive 4 hours and still be in that state. West Virginia is like that. You can drive for 4 hours in West Virginia and still be in the same state.
It's the entrepreneurial spirit of the people. Like, there's an attitude in Texas that I felt so strongly. There's like a kind of go and get it sort of mentality that I loved. Everybody's trying to, better themselves. Everybody's chasing the American dream. Everybody's trying to make it. Like, you can see it when you're driving down the highways. You can just see businesses everywhere. People are hustling. People are moving. I loved it. I love that spirit. And that's really what made America into what it is today. That's really, that America, this titan, this economic juggernaut is built on small SMEs, small and medium sized businesses. So it's just great, it was great being there and seeing that spirit, seeing the people, you know.
What's funny is I hear that a lot when I watch people, especially people from the UK, not just other countries. The UK says it a lot. Like, what's the other guy I watched, Lewis? He talks about he had a friend, and he's brought up multiple times where he had a friend, and he was the only one that really encouraged that friend to go for it, and the other friends put that friend down, and he lost friends over that. But, well, not Lewis lost friends, but the friend who went for it, he lost friends, but he's successful. He went for it, and he's successful, and he's happy, and he's glad he did it. And that is a big difference between the U.S. and UK, that even if people put you down over here, you can still find people who will cheer you on. And that's not to say, like I said, there are people here who will put you down because they're jealous of the fact that you're going to do something they're not. I never understood that mentality. It's like, I like to see people succeed. Do I get jealous of their success? Yeah, I'll admit that. But not to the point where I'm going to put them down. I might joke with them like, what did you have to do to get that success or something like that. But overall, I'm proud that they did it. It's like, in a way I am kind of, especially if I know, I'm like, wow, man, I can't believe you did it. Congratulations, and I'm happy for them. And I just wish more people were like that. Like, I like to see people succeed, especially black people. I love seeing black people succeed. We're capable of doing anything. So, stop putting people down. Be more happy. It's okay to be jealous. Just don't be green-eyed jealous, meaning don't go overboard with jealousy. It's like, I'm jealous of people who have nice cars. Of course, now I have a nice car. But, yeah, people don't realize it's okay to be jealous, depending on what it is, but not to the extreme that it messes stuff up. Like, I don't do jealousy in relationships. My wife knows that. And we have a great relationship as a result. But being jealous over someone's success, it's okay. But just be a realistic jealousy. Like, hey, I'm jealous that you were able to do that and I couldn't. But congratulations. All right, let's get back to it.
Like, embody that American go-get-it attitude that I loved. I wish we had it more here. Here, if you start a business, there's just so many rules and regs. And don't get me wrong, like, rules and regulations are needed, to a degree.
We need more over here, actually, to take down some of these big businesses.
But it's a lot harder here, I feel, to start and build a business than it would be in a place like Texas. I feel like Texas probably encourages entrepreneurialism maybe a bit more than we do here. And, that American dream, that American desire, to make it, to build a better life for yourself and your family. I loved it. I really, really loved it. Yeah, man, I loved Texas, genuinely. I'm going to be back in America this year. 95% sure it's going to be in September or October. Because, I came with friends. I didn't really.
Ooh, he should go someplace where it's snowing so he can really get an idea just how extreme our weather can be. It can go from extreme hots to extreme colds.
As much as I would have wanted, because because I've vlogged quite a lot. I didn't want to vlog the whole time, setting up tripods at the dinner table and stuff like that. So when I come in September, October, I'm going to come by myself or with a cameraman, and I'm going to explore. Hopefully, I'm going to do a meet and greet as well, so I can meet a bunch of you guys, which would be amazing. And I'll have a lot more time to do things, to film stuff, and it will just be awesome, especially because football season would have started as well. Like, I want to go to at least one NFL and one college football game. I want to experience tailgating.
I haven't been to a professional football game or a college football game. I've been to football games in high school, but I've never been a big sports guy. I've been to a Major League Baseball game once. For some reason, I feel like I went twice. I may have went twice. That's right. I was in Canada, and we were eating at the. There was a the Needle in Canada. Where's that at? Is that? I can't remember where that's at. And there was a game. I think the Blue Jays were playing. So yeah, technically I've been to 2 Major League Baseball games, but yeah, I've just never really been into sports.
And all the camaraderie. I think it'll be awesome. And yeah, like if you guys want to do something, shoot me an email. That's kabirconsiders@yahoo.com. And yeah, Texas was awesome. I will be back.
Well, that was interesting. Like I said, it was obviously he loved his trip. But I hope he gets to visit more than just Texas. But I will say, if he wants to see a high school football game, even, Texas might be the place to go for that. And for Major League, there's plenty of places to go for a Major League football game and college football games. I hope he comes for one of the big tailgate parties. If he makes his way to West Virginia, WU does a great tailgate party. I know that. I personally haven't been to them because I don't do sports. But yeah, WU does a great job. With tailgating, they go all out. There's Pittsburgh near here, and there's just a lot that he could be doing throughout the United States. There's so many things he could go see. So I hope if he comes back, I hope he goes someplace else other than just Texas, because there's a lot in the U.S. to do. That's why when I always find it funny when I hear foreigners talking about U.S. doesn't know anything about the rest of the world. And that's, talking about you don't know geography. Yeah, because we have no desire to leave the country. But there's a lot more people do have passports. But even then, a lot of them will leave the country and come right back. So it's like, it's nice to go visit someplace else, but I'm coming right back home. But yeah, I would like to get out and travel a little more. Maybe when I get some money together. Maybe I'll go to another country. Who knows? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Everyone take care. Later.